Hi, hello, and welcome to Yapping Unfiltered. In today's video, we are going to be doing a breakdown of the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship for 2024 Formula One. Um, yeah, if you've seen my other videos, you know I do Formula One videos. I post Formula One news or like theories or and race breakdowns. So if you like them, okay. I was editing that. Sorry, that was kind of cringe. I'm sorry about that. Um, but yeah. So what I was gonna say is, if you like my content, follow. Sorry, not follow. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out my socials. They should be if you click my channel. They should be in the description. Like on that, like near the header. I should say, and in the description. I'm not sure if it's a URL you can click, but you can like copy paste if you want. And probably at the end of this video, there should be like a playlist of all my Formula One content if you're interested, and there should also be like if you click my channel and playlists, if you only want to see my Formula One content, you can sort of just check it out there if you want. But anywho, as we can see on the screen, let's start off with the teams. I think the analysis here is a lot more easily the analysis here is a lot more easily doable than it is. I was originally gonna do it on paper. I have a lot of notes, but I think this is like an easier format where you can sort of just see my face and you can sort of see the screen at the same time. Um, I need to crop these out. I don't know want you to see these. Okay, it's fine. It's whatever. Okay, let's continue. So far we can see McLaren is ahead with 516 points. Then you have Red Bull with 475, Ferrari with 441, and Mercedes with 329. These four will remain the same, as in they will remain in the top four. I don't see Aston Martin moving the gaps too big here. Haas might beat Alpha Tauri, but I don't see what you call it. Yeah, um, I don't see Williams being able to catch up to Haas or to Honda Red Bull at this point. What's funny is 24 of these points for Haas Ferrari are for Nico Hulkenberg himself, which is insane to think about that someone has contributed so many points to a championship. Okay, anyway. But yeah, so McLaren, I think McLaren most likely will continue. I think I think McLaren will most likely keep this lead. Checo has not been doing well since Monaco. He's entered this mental space that I don't think he's been able to come out of, and I don't blame him. His car like crumpled almost. You should Google it. Actually, since we're on this video anyways, let me just show you. Checo Monaco crash. Um, if you look at images, right? I'll like try to zoom in, but like look at this. His car practically pancaked on itself. Like this was horrendously bad. It was bad. I'm surprised he survived, which is kind of sad because he almost died. No, he didn't almost. I mean, he he didn't die, but like it was pretty close. I heard that in his crash in Baku, his dad had a heart attack. May he be healthy and wealthy. I mean, he's wealthy, but may he be healthy. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I know Reddit isn't exactly the most consistent of sources, but yeah. Editing me over here. Hi. Yeah. So his dad did have a after the Baku crash. If you don't know, I think I talked about it, but Baku, Checo. So pretty much, Checo and Carlos Sainz were going at each other. They were driving, and then they crashed. It was on a turn, and I think Carlos was trying to overtake him. Yeah, like this is Checo's car. That's Carlos's car, and then they sort of like, hit into each other, and his dad had a heart attack. So, yeah, that one was kind of bad. Not gonna lie, that was actually kind of bad. Anywho, getting back to the point. With Checo under delivering and not being able to sort of get the most out of the car because the car is shit. Let's make this clear. The car is ass. It is bad. It is horrible. Horrible. Even Max has not been doing good. He gets second place, but that's just Max being Max. He's so dominant. He's Max. But with Piastri and Lando being such a strong duo, I don't see McLaren losing this lead unless one of them DNFs. And even if they do, that's like what a point. This gap is too much. And yes, if Red Bull somehow pull a 1-2 out of their ass, they can take it back. But that's like impossible. I don't see that happening. Um, but yeah, I think McLaren will take it. However, I think Ferrari is right up Red Bull's ass, and I think they're like really close. I mean, 441 to 475, that's nothing. That is incredibly, uncomfortably close. And I think I'll sort of editing. Yeah, that might ruin things. Hold up, let me. Can I zoom in? Like, what is it? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So I think Ferrari can really easily and comfortably take it from Ferrari. It's a 441, 475. That's really close. That's dangerously close, in my honest opinion. That's way too close for Red Bull to be at. So there are three possibilities I see it happening. I think McLaren takes P1, that's for sure. I think 2 and 3 will probably flip flop. I think Ferrari can take 2, Red Bull can take 3. Mercedes is not coming close to any of them unless a miracle happens. So let's just say they're going to be stuck at 4. Aston Martin will be at 5, and then 2, 3 will swap. I think 1 will stay. I think that is how the Constructors' Cup will play out. Let's talk about Drivers' Championship. This one's interesting. We'll get to Verstappen versus Norris soon. I have done a deep dive analysis on it. Why? Don't ask me. I just did. I was bored, and I think it'd be fun to sort of see because 2023 he was just so dominant, and the fact that he has competition from Lando Norris is amazing. I love Lando. Not my favorite. I mean, he's my second favorite, second, third favorite. But I mean, I would love Charles to win. If I'm being wholeheartedly honest, I want Lando or Charles to win. But I think Max dominated the beginning half of the season way too much to warrant anybody else being in this fight. Um, Also, that Singapore win really put him in contention. That really just like skyrocketed him because Charles wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Oh my god, my mouth is tired from talking because I did a version of this on my phone and I was like, I think this would be easier to sort of visualize what I'm saying. Okay, anyway. We're only going to focus on the top 10 and then we'll sort of work our way down. Um, so, oh god, okay, so, wait. Ooh, I mean, yeah, okay. Okay, so these three drivers, Hulkenberg, Stroll, and Tsunoda, I think these are way too close. I think these are really close. Nico and Stroll are practically tied, and Sonoda is 22. I think P10 can go to either one of them. Realistically, you can go to either one of them. Um, uh, Alonso with 62, that's hard stuck. He's not going to be able to climb up to Perez at all. Even if Perez continues to fail, get 1 point or DNF, or even get like low to mid rankings, even then, I don't see this gap. This gap's too much. It's more than double. It's not happening. Um, Russell and Hamilton again, same. If Perez starts performing better, I think these two could swap. I think 7 and 8 could swap, but I think if I'm being honest, I think these two will probably stay the same. I think these will stay locked in. Now, this is interesting because Hamilton is only in this position because of George's DNF. Had he not DNF'd, George would obviously be higher, but I don't think this margin between them would be closer at all. Depending on how the last 6 races go, it could go either way. Hamilton could take 6, and Sainz could go to 6. Hamilton could go to 5. But I don't know. I think Ferrari has it in them to win, and I think Sainz has it in him to win. I mean, he's my favorite. I am biased, but I do think he has the potential to win. He has the potential to do good. Um, so yeah, I think it's going to be close. It's going to be interesting to sort of see. But I think okay. Also, I think Sainz is locked at fifth. I think the gap to Piastri is too big. Unless Sainz can get one more win, consistent podiums, or like podium often, and Piastri doesn't win a race. That's like the best case scenario for Sainz, where they can swap between 4 and 5. But I don't know. That's we'll have to wait and see how the next triple header. If you don't know, the triple header is um, COTA, United States, Austin, then Mexico, and then Brazil. Those three races, back-to-back races, are really going to define the last three races because that could mean Piastri and Sainz can swap, Leclerc and Piastri can swap. This is more likely, I think, than Sainz because this is like almost a 40-point difference versus that's less than 10, right? One of them podiums, one of them doesn't get that far ahead, and it swaps in Piastri's favor. I don't want that to happen because I want Charles to be ahead, but I wouldn't be too upset, to be honest. So I think these two swapping, I see happening. It could happen. Piastri has great pace. He's been performing really well. Getting third or fourth in your second Formula One season is absolutely bonkers. Um, Sorry, my ears are ringing. I don't know why. But yeah, that's like really, that's really close. That's really, I didn't realize it was that close. Goddamn. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes. Probably cut for like 2 minutes, but yeah, it's fine. Now we're on to the big daddy discussion. That is, what is this? What is going to happen here? What is going to happen here? Now, let's take a look. Obviously, I mean, 331, 279. So I've done some math. If Lando Norris wins every single race, Max Verstappen gets second place every single race. That puts him at 429 and 439. Exactly 10-point difference in Max's favor. Is that likely? No, because this season is known as silly season for a reason, and nothing is guaranteed. Literally nothing. Nothing is guaranteed to happen. Nothing. Literally nothing. Um, Sorry, I'm like messing around with the camera. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I think it's too difficult to gauge and to judge how well this is going to do. I mean, sorry, how it's going to play out because 1 and 2 is really improbable. But anywho, 10-point difference. If Lando wins every single fastest lap, which he has been, it puts him at 435. Between Max is 439. Even then, that's 6 points. And so not six. That's still 4 points. If Daniel didn't win it and Lando did, Lando gets 3. It's a 3-point gap. That's still a gap. However, if you actually, you know what? Let's Google this because I want to make sure I'm not speaking out of my ass. So, FIA F1 2024 second place sprint winner points. Sprint. The sprint winner. Okay. 8, 10, 6, 5, 4. Okay. Okay, even with sprint races, okay, even with sprint races, it goes in this format where it goes 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That, even then, with a 3-point difference, there would need to be a pretty sizable gap. And that's what it comes down to. Lando needs to have a sizable gap in front of him to win. But that was 1 and 2, right? Let's say they come 2 and 3. Lando gets 387, and Max Verstappen gets 421. Even with that, that's still such a big margin, and it comes down to how they do in the sprint races and the fastest laps. And if you don't know, the fastest laps are in COTA, Brazil, and Qatar. So even then, it is way, way, way too close. I think this margin, if this stayed the same, this margin will continue to become smaller and smaller if Lando comes first. If they come second and third, the margin it remains the same. If they come second and third, um, but now if you're being realistic, right? Like let's say everything works out in his favor. Let's look at the race win so far. We see Max Verstappen was dominating up until Spain. Spain was his last win, which was in June. June, July, August, September, October. It's been 4 months. Four since Verstappen has won. It's been 4 months. Four. Which I'm low key kind of happy about, but we don't talk about that. But anyway, if we see the rest of the races, right? These, oh no, these, right? So out of these 8 races, okay, hold up. If you're new, let me show you something. Let me give you a little bit of lore, because I think this race will define the championship, and not. Oh my god, this lighting is horrendously bad. Holy shit. Hold up. I look. Okay, yeah, a lot better. A lot better. Yeah. So if you don't know what happened in this race, long story short, Lando Norris was ahead. Lando Norris was set to win. However, they instituted team orders, which pretty much means, long story short, it means 1 and 2. If you're 1 and 2, you got to swap positions. So Lando was forced to let Piastri go through, which led to Piastri winning. That's 8 points. That is how much of a margin he can lose by. And it'll be all because of this race and all because of McLaren's stupid strategy. I honestly think the best case for Lando is that he either wins or it's a very clear second. Because if it's very close, not only is this going to create such a big divide between him, McLaren, and Piastri, I think this will doom them for the near future. I think this race could be Brosades 2.0. Not that they were like brothers or super close or anything, but this is team orders. If team orders is a reason you're losing a championship, I think it's time to reconsider your loyalties. I'm going to be honest. I don't think you should stay because this is low key like stabbing him in the back, because this could have defined whether he won or not. Because look, like he won, Lando Norris won Netherlands, and he won Singapore, and he could have won Hungary. That is 8 points in his favor. I mean, I don't even check. How did Verstappen do? Verstappen was 5. That's again 8 more points that he would have gone. 25. That's 15 points to Verstappen. Those 15 points he would have had instead of the 18 that he got. I mean, it's gonna be. Like I said, if we do 1 and 2, this is their margin. This, if you can't see, 1 and 2, 439, 435, considering he gets all the fastest laps. That Hungary race defines who wins this championship, which is crazy to me that they did team orders. Anyway, moving forward, we can sort of see in the F1 standings. Let's go to Spain. So if Spanish, yes, Verstappen won. I mean, barely, but he won, right? 19. Oh, he had fastest lap. Okay. You go to Austria. They were. Oh yeah, they DNF'd, which is why Lando DNF'd. That DNF also hurts him in getting the championship, but we won't talk about. If you don't know, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris they hit each other on a turn, resulting in Verstappen having to change his tire, go to the pit lane, and Lando had to retire. Because of that, he could lose his championship. But again, stuff like this happens. Team orders where you're winning, that's stupid. British Grand Prix, we can see it is a 3-2, a 2-3. We go to Hungary, it's a 2-5. We go to Belgium, it is a it's a 4-5. You go to the Dutch Grand Prix, it's a 1-2. Italian Grand Prix, it's a 3-6. If you go to Baku, it is a 4-5. They're really close to each other. Here, 1-2. And then these three races, this triple header, United States, COTA, Mexico, and Brazil. These three Grand Prix are going to define how the season, who will win. If Lando Norris, if Lando Norris and Verstappen are really close to each other, I think Verstappen's going to take it. I think in a really close battle, I don't see Verstappen. I don't see Lando Norris winning it. I think it's too difficult, to be honest, for him to achieve that. If he does, I would be godsmackly amazed. I would love that. I would love that. But I think it's tough. I think it's really, really tough. And I think it's unlikely to happen, to be honest with you. But that doesn't mean it can't happen, you know? Miracles can happen. I want it to happen, but I mean, hopeful. But I did some more math. And if we look at the calculations and we look at these results, first of all, like the biggest plus point is Verstappen hasn't won a single race since June. That's 4 months. Can he win? Maybe, but I don't want him to win. But if we're following the pattern of the second season, let's say he doesn't win, and Lando wins. He won 2 out of the 8 races. That's a 1-to-4 ratio. That roughly translates to 1.5 race wins out of 6, like 1 race win and a qualifying win and a sprint race, or vice versa, or 2 races. So if you go with 2 races for Lando, and he gets 454, that gives him 454-4. That puts him at that. Okay. Okay, so let's say he gets 2 or 4, right? Even then, either way, I've done a few calculations, and if they're really close to each other, 1, 2, 4, 5, because that's what they've been. If you go back a little bit, you can sort of see, and a lot, like, this is a 1, 2, and I think this is a better example where they're like 4, 5. A lot of the races go like this: they're 4, 5, or they're 1, 2. And so, and it could easily, actually no, this race, well, the gap was huge. The race was huge. Here the gap was, actually no, the gap here was also massive. Actually no, wait. Oh, this gap is massive. This gap is massive. Their gap is usually massive, but he needs a big position difference. Because here, this is 3 points. This isn't going to help him in the championship. I think Italy, yeah, this, like 8 to 15, right? Like this gap. He needs a gap like this, where he's like 2 to 3 positions ahead of Verstappen, then he can easily win. Is that likely? I don't know. I think United States. I don't know who people are going for. I've been seeing different clips of people saying who might win. I'm going, so I hope my win. I hope my luck either helps Carlos, Charles, or Norris, but we'll have to wait and see. Mexican Grand Prix, we'll have to wait and see, and Brazil. We will have to wait and see. I think it comes down to being a very close fight. It's going to be interesting. I just hope it's not Abu Dhabi 21 again, which they might, because the thing is, the season started off boring and ticket sales were very low because people were not happy that Max Verstappen was winning so much. I mean, obviously, if you already know the result, why would you go and watch? Why would you even watch online? But Carlos started off strong, and then I think after him, Charles won Monaco, right? There were so many different race winners, and that really created this hype. And now Verstappen could lose this point. And again, in Formula 1, 45 that's not a lot of points. That's like 2 or 3 races, even potentially just 2 races, even just one. Because if there's one DNF and then they're close to another, the person who DNF loses. I mean, yeah, the person who DNFs loses. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting to sort of see how this plays out. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm sorry for yapping, but this is really interesting. I'm really looking forward to sort of see how this plays out. And